All right, our fifth mastery quiz is on graphing a line. These two equations that I want you to graph are both in slope-intercept form, and all of the equations on this mastery quiz will be in slope-intercept form. All that means is that you can easily see what the slope is and what the y-intercept is in this form. And the way you can tell that it is slope-intercept form is because you have a y equals. And everything else in the equation is on the other side of the equals sign. So let's get started. The first equation is y equals 3 over 4x minus 5. Now the slope is always the number or fraction in front of the x. So here is x. 3 over 4 is in front of the x. So we know that 3 over 4 is the slope. Now we use the letter M for slope. Yes, it's a little weird. I don't know exactly why we do it, but we do. The y-intercept is the other thing that I said was easy to find. The y-intercept is the number with no x attached. In this case, it is 5, but you have to remember that the negative in front of it goes with it. So negative 5 is actually the y-intercept. We call the y-intercept, we use the letter B to refer to the y-intercept. Also a little weird. When turning this information into a line on this graph, we always start with the y-intercept. I'll put a star to remember that that's what we start with. And since it is the y-intercept, we are finding negative 5 on the y-axis. So here's the y-axis. We go down to negative 5, and we make a dot. Our line automatically goes through that dot. Next, we have to find at least one more point to make a line, and we use the slope to do that. Remember that slope is rise over run. So 3 is our rise, 4 is our run. Since this fraction is positive, our rise is up for positive. 4 is our run, it always goes to the right. So that means that starting at the negative 5 dot we already made, we are going to count up 3 boxes and right 4 boxes. 1, 2, 3 up, 1, 2, 3, 4 over, and we make a dot when we're finished with all of that. And then we connect the 2 dots with a straight line. And we have successfully graphed the equation y equals 3 over 4x minus 5. Let's do that again with y equals negative 2x plus 1. So remember, we are looking for two things. We are looking for the slope, and we are looking for the y-intercept. And the slope, you just have to remember, is always the number or fraction in front of the x. Here is the x. In front of it is a negative 2. So we know our slope is negative 2. Now, it is always easiest to write the slope as a fraction. So instead of just writing negative 2, we can always turn any number into a fraction by making it over 1. And we're going to write negative 2 over 1 for our slope. Our y-intercept is the number with no x attached. In this case, it's positive 1. So for B, we just write 1. And remember, we always start with the y-intercept on the y-axis. So on the y-axis, we find positive 1 and we make a dot. Now slope is rise over run. Negative 2 is our rise, 1 is our run. Since we've got a negative in this fraction, we're going to go down this time for our rise, but always to the right for our run. So starting again at the 1 that we already made a dot on, we count down 1, 2 squares, and right 1 square, and make a dot. Since we have room, I'll just keep going. Down 1, 2, right 1, make a dot. Down 1, 2, right 1, make a dot. And if I connect these dots, I'm going to get a line. Just a side note, we could go up and left instead of down and right. Notice what happens if I start back at the 1, I count up 1, 2, left 1. If I make a dot here, it's on the same line. That comes in handy when you run out of room on the right side of your graph. And that's how you graph a line.